Good morning, everyone. I'm coming to you with a sleepy face, but let's get ready to start day 3 of the Writing Institute. Hello, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Mariely Sanchez, and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida. And I have the opportunity to attend the Glazer Lorton Writing Institute, which is, I learned yesterday, one of the 2 remaining writing institutes in the entire country. So that was an interesting fact. So right now it is early, and yes, I am very sleepy. It's summer break, but I am here. I am learning so many great things, so I am excited for day 3. I'm here early because today I am helping out with breakfast. Everybody signed up yesterday to bring a different breakfast item for each day until next week when the Writing Institute ends. Next week, Friday, we're actually all meeting at a hotel. We're going to the Airport Marriott, and that is where we're going to have our end of the Writing Institute celebration. So that's very exciting. So I brought some bagels and some cream cheese this morning. I'm going to go into the cafeteria. I'm going to put it in the table that belongs to our group and have some breakfast and get ready for the day because I am excited to see what else we learn. If you have missed the last 2 vlogs, I am doing individual vlogs for each day of the conference so that the videos are not too long, but I do share my reflections and some of the big takeaways from the day. So I'll leave it in a playlist that I am going to have here on my YouTube channel called GLWI Gliwi Writing Institute. All right, so let me get my day started and I'll check in with you later.
I quickly went to the cafeteria and made sure that our table was set up with the bagels that I have brought. And this is the rest of the treats for this morning and today's flight plan for day 3. And here are my breakfast treats. We found all of these goodies on top of our desk: a poem, a book, and a highlighter triangle. And we started our first presentation with Dr. Symonette, going over community guidelines, rose, thorns, and buds, which I'll talk about later. And this was our book for the afternoon, along with these treats, which I'll talk about more in the later part of this video. I took plenty of notes. I'll also go over this really great strategy using text structure to help students write. We just wrapped up on day 3, and I want to give you my takeaways and reflections for today. So the morning started with our traditional writing activity, only it started by first having the facilitators let us know that today it was Teacher Day. So every day is a theme. So on Monday it was our names, yesterday was our home, today is Teacher Day. So when we came in this morning, on our desk was a poem, and the title of the poem was On a Former Teacher by John Steinbeck. They then let us know that our first book freebie for today was Dear Freedom Writer by Erin Gruwell, and that was tied into the presenter that we had in the morning, Precious Symonette. And then after that, they had us watch the YouTube video from Rita Pearson that says every kid needs a champion. I have watched it in the past, and we watched it this morning, and we talked about it. And then it was time for us to learn about one of the first strategies, which is RAFT. And RAFT is a writing strategy that I have heard in different workshops in the past, or RAFTs, because you can add an S like the one that we did today. So if you're not sure about RAFT, the RAFT strategy, RAFT stands for role, who is doing the writing, audience, who will be reading the writing, form, is this a letter, a poem, or other form, topic, what am I writing about, and strong verb, am I persuading, creating, analyzing. So we use this RAFT strategy to help us kind of springboard our writing. Today we thought about a teacher that has had an impact in our lives, and we decided to create a writing piece. It could have been a letter, it could have been a poem, a rap, a song, a recipe that told about this teacher. So basically we chose the format that we wanted to write, and then from that format we went into our writer's notebook and we wrote. And then instead of sharing our writing with the group, she actually asked for different people who wanted to share their writing. I actually ended up being one of those people, and I wrote about one of my middle school teachers, Miss Woodruff, and it was something that I really needed to write because Miss Woodruff passed away the year after I had her as a teacher. So I had her for 8th grade, and back then 9th grade was in middle school, and during my 9th grade year she passed away from cancer. So I wanted to write about her and the impact that she has had on my life,
because I need other people to know about her since I cannot share this with her. So it was very emotional, as you can imagine. By the end of my letter, I was in tears. But that's what writing does, right? It allows us to express ourselves. It allows us to communicate and connect to other people, which was one of the main themes from today's Writing Institute, was the connection that reading and writing allows us to do, because reading and writing is how we communicate with one another. So then it was time for a morning presenter. Like I mentioned, Dr. Precious Symonette, who is a high school teacher in our district. She was also Teacher of the Year a couple years ago, and I actually met her when I first started my YouTube channel back in 2017 when I was doing Vlogmas. I think the first day of Vlogmas was for me to go to the Expo, which is a teacher conference that our district hosts. And Precious was one of the presenters, and she was there with the author of Freedom Writers, Erin Gruwell, who you may know, also has a movie about her. Erin Gruwell is also in that vlog, so if you want to watch that video, I'll link it in the description box below. So it was nice to see Precious. I also have seen her in other instances. Her main focus this morning was sharing with us strategies that she uses in her creative writing class in high school, which can be applied to any grade, on how she builds classroom community in allowing students to get to know each other so that they can build connections. And when you do that, they really open up and are able to share more about their thoughts and feelings and their life in writing. She spent a good time of the beginning of her presentation allowing us to introduce ourselves, and she says that that was important because that allowed us to find connections and things that we can learn about each other. So that is something that not only did she model that with us so that we get to know each other there in that group, but to also know that that is a strategy that we can also use in our own classrooms. She then went on to share the 3-2-1 get to know you strategy. She shared some information about herself on a slide, and after that she asked people to share 3-2-1, and let me explain to you what the 3-2-1 stands for. So 3 is 3 things that you learned, 2 is facts that you found interesting, 1 is a question that you have. If you have been following my vlogs, this is a strategy that I use for a variety of different activities. I have used it this past year. So this can also be applied when you're introducing someone, in this case the teacher, because it starts a conversation, and that was really great. Then she had us do a warm-up activity, which is the activity that she uses to start every class. As soon as the students come in, they have choice on what they should write. And she provides different prompts on the board, and they just choose one so that they can write until the writing warm-up time is over. So the prompts that she puts on the board are: what's on your mind? What are some things that you wonder about? Complete the following, what if, or have the students just do a free write, where they choose a topic of their choice to write about during that time. I really found this useful because I want to start my ELA classes next school year with having students do some type of writing as soon as they walk in. And I didn't know how I was going to do that. I didn't know if I was going to use a prompt, or if every day I was going to have a different theme. Like maybe one day they're writing to a quote, and another day they're writing to a specific prompt, and another day they're writing to a picture that I show them. So instead, I love this idea of giving them choice. So I can have a slide on the board projected with multiple writing topics for them to choose from, and they just choose one to write during that time. So I found that really, really valuable for me. So she actually had us practice this activity. She timed us for, I think it was 5 or 6 minutes. And then she asked if anybody wanted to share. And she said that that is important. You don't just want to call on students and say, okay, you share. You just want to open it up to see if anybody wants to share. And of course, you want to choose, from what I'm thinking from yesterday's presentation, don't choose more than 3 students to share, because the students will listen to the first 1, 2, 3 students, but after the 3rd student, they'll tune out. Also, you don't want to spend too much time dedicated to the sharing as well. That's just an idea that I just have. And then she shared with us another strategy called Roses, Thorns, and Buds. And I have heard of this before, and I really love it. It's a great strategy for reflection. Basically, roses are success, things that make you happy. Thorns are challenges, things that make you sad. And a bud is a potential, something that gives you hope. So she asked us how we would incorporate this into our classrooms, and some people gave ideas, like maybe on a Monday, have the students do like a check-in where they reflect on their weekend, or maybe on Friday so the students can reflect on the lessons that they have learned that week. And other teachers thought about doing it at the end of the lesson. So this was a nice activity, again, to help the students reflect. The next activity that she shared is called the line game. And basically when she does this, she usually takes her class outside and divides her class so that they're standing in 2 lines facing each other, and she'll have like tape in the middle in between both lines of students, and the students are facing each other, and she'll say different statements. For example, she will say, step into the line if you like to write. So you will have students that will step forward if they do like to write, and students that don't move at all are students that don't like to write. And then she'll say, okay, look around you, you're not alone. So again, it's a really great get to know you activity, community building activity, so students can know that they're not alone, and they can also see what differences and similarities they have within each other. So you can use and create your own different statements so that students can either step forward or step back and then reflect on that. The next activity is the suitcase. Basically, she had the students write inside of the suitcase their inner self, and on the outside what other people see about them. Again, it's just a get to know you activity so that the students can share and get to know a little bit more about each other. She said that she would also look at their suitcases and sometimes write different things that she would notice on paper, and then maybe once a week she'll pull a paper out and read the statement, not saying who it was from, and she'll ask, does anybody else feel this way or have something similar? And the students, if they choose to, can raise their hand and they can see what they have in common and how they are connected. She also shared another strategy, which is the coat of arms, where the students create their own coat of arms of different symbols and colors that represent who they are, and she will put them up in her classroom. Again, it's another great activity to build community. The next activity that she shared is the crayon game. That one was really great. We each received an art supply. Some of us got Crayola markers or Crayola color pencils or Crayola crayons, and we got a white piece of paper, and we were asked to draw different things according to the directions. So the first thing she said for us to draw was a house, and we decided where in the paper we would draw it. We decided if we wanted the paper to be portrait or landscape. The next thing she asked us to draw was clouds, then a sun, grass, a bird, and the last thing was put something that should be included in the picture. Then she asked a couple students to come up to the front of the classroom and share their drawings, and she had the class talk about how are they similar, how are they different, and then had each student tell a little bit more about the item that they included on their drawing and why. These could be a really great springboard to writing, so that was a really great idea. But then she pushed it a little bit further, where she had us work in groups of 5 to 6, and we did the same activity, but this time we had a bigger paper and we had to pass the paper around so that each person drew a different thing on the picture. And then of course you can use it as a springboard to writing. She then talked about Fruit Loop Bingo, which is where she gives the students Fruit Loops and a bingo board with different vocabulary words. So basically the students show that they can use the word correctly in a sentence. If they're able to do it, they can put a Fruit Loop on there. And at the end, they can eat their Fruit Loops, or she even has Rice Krispie treats, where if they use the words correctly and have bingo, they can then eat their Rice Krispies treat. So that was a really fun activity for reinforcing vocabulary acquisition. One of the last strategies that she showed was memory by number strategy. Basically, she had the students write down 3 different numbers. And of course, with my 4th graders, you have to kind of choose a number between 7 to the current age that your students are. And maybe instead of 3, maybe it's 2 memories. But basically, they write down those numbers, and then they have to think about an important event that happened in their lives at that age. And then the students, what they can do is choose one of those events from the list and then write a details list of the events and the emotions that they felt during that particular event in that particular age of their lives. This becomes a list poem, which the students can then continue to revise so that they can turn into another type of piece of writing if they choose to, a better poem, a song, maybe it's just a story. So she uses the strategy, and she also has her students do like an open mic session where they actually go to a Starbucks, because she made that relationship in her community. So one night a month, they go to Starbucks, they invite parents, invite the community, and the students go at an open mic and share their writing. And I thought that was amazing. At the end of her presentation, she shared a TED Talk that she recently did, so I'll try to find it and link it down below. And she also shared with us the graphic organizer that she uses with her students when they watch any TED Talks, so that they can look at the information that was given in the TED Talk and the details that sat with them. Then it was time for the afternoon presentation by Gretchen Bernabei, and she was amazing. We got her book in the afternoon along with another little gift, which was a wristband, but it's actually also a USB drive, so that was great. And yes, I don't know if you've noticed, but every time we come back into the classroom, whether it's after lunch or in the morning, we always have a new gift on our desk, whether it's a book or something with the Writing Institute logo on it. And it's really nice to be able to have that. So Gretchen was able to share some really great strategies to help students write. She started by saying, why are we still teaching the 5-paragraph essay? And she went on to explain that question sat on her mind for a while. As she kept thinking about this question, one of her friends actually turned her to the book by Paul Newkirk. And in his book, she learned that he also had the same question. And he provided this particular quote: I think we teach the 5-paragraph essay because we don't have a teachable alternative. So this gave Gretchen the idea, okay, I'm going to create some teachable alternatives to the 5-paragraph essay. And so went on the afternoon of her sharing different strategies that will help students elaborate on ideas, give evidence, and support it. It was amazing. And the first activity that she shared with us was the QA12345. And that is a dialogue activity where you ask a student a question and they answer it. So you have two students. One will ask the questions, the other one will answer it. This activity, in order for it to work, it has to be done orally first. Do not start it with writing. So whatever the question is, whatever topic you want the students to elaborate on or write about, you focus on that question, they answer it, and then the next student asks the question, how do you know? So then that student answers it. Then the student that's asking the question then asks, what does that mean? So then the student responding will respond. Then the student asking will say, how else do you know? And then the student responding will respond. The next question is, what does that mean? And then the student will respond again. And the last question that the student gets asked is, so your answer is? And the student will repeat their answer. And if you notice, once they are having that dialogue, they can then take that to writing, and it'll form something that is complete. It has the answer to the question, it has the elaboration. So it was a great activity, and she had us practice that a couple of times. The next activity she talked about is the project of sending unsent messages. She said to us, sometimes we have people in our life where we don't really stop to say thank you. So in order to start us with this activity, she had us draw a heart map. In the heart map, she had us section it off in different categories where we would add names of different people. She said that once a person's name was on the heart map, they cannot be in any other category. But once the students create this heart map and they put it in their notebooks, they now have a place where they can have different people that they can write different types of messages to. So the first one, of course, was a thank you message. But she also gave us some directions on how to encourage students to send messages to tell someone that you admire them, or to write a message asking for something, or to ask for help, or to write an I'm sorry message to them, or to comfort someone, or to reveal something to someone, like an I wish I knew kind of message. If you want to learn more about these strategies from Gretchen, I'm going to leave her website down below. It is www.trailofbreadcrumbs.net. And she said that in that website we can find some of these unsent messages template along with a template for the heart map. All right, my friends, that was the end of day 3. I now have a very long journey home, but I hope you enjoy coming along with me because I really found this to be very valuable. I really like all the strategies that I was able to listen to for the past 3 days. If you haven't seen day 1 and 2 yet, please make sure you check out the playlist so you check those out along with the other days that are coming. There will be a total of 9 days for this particular playlist because there are 9 days for this Writing Institute. All right, so I hope you enjoy coming along with me. If you made it this far to the video, put a pencil emoji in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below or any questions you may have along with an emoji. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello, dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.